Well, we are ready for game week, right? So shoot away. What questions do you have?
Coach, you're under a week until game day. What words, I guess, of wisdom have you given the guys with less than a week until the game?
They're probably tired of it, and there's some every day. But no, just we kind of have this motto: it's DWWD. It's we do what we do, right? So that's kind of been the mantra, I guess you could say, for the entire fall camp is, you know, we are who we are. We don't have to create, and we don't have to try to be, you know, something different every week. We just do what we do. We be who we are. So our game plans going into every game, and this is a great starting point for us, is to go out there and just be simple. You know, offenses tend to create issues for you, so as long as we're simple and we know all the things that we can do to adjust, we feel like we'll be in a good place. But I think this is a good starting point for our defense because this offense does challenge you. It's got some tempo. It does a lot of things actually that are similar to our offense, which causes problems, obviously. So we just got to go out there. We got to execute. We'll be simple, and it'll be a good opening game for us.
Go ahead.
You haven't had a game week in a while. It's been quite a while since you've been in Wisconsin in a game week. What are your thoughts now that you're back in one? Is it something where it's just old hat, or is there a little bit different, maybe emotion for you? Any kind of thoughts that are a little bit different now because you weren't sure you were going to get back in?
Yeah, that's true. It's been 5 years since I've been in this position on the game week, right? And it's been interesting. I've been so in the grind with fall camp that I feel like I'm still in fall camp. So this is kind of the first, you know, week that I've really entered into the game week mode. But it's interesting. It's kind of like fall camp was, and kind of like spring ball. Everything just kind of comes back to you. You know what I mean, on how to prepare and your mindset and how you think. It's really interesting because this is the part of football that I love, right? Like being able to game plan, being able to strategically, you know, let a plan unfold and give it to the guys and watch us work it. And then, you know, hopefully on Saturday night, the game plan unfolds. So challenging for sure, exciting because I haven't done it in a long time, but it's been a lot of fun.
What about the excitement and seeing what these guys are going to do on the field, especially a lot of the young, very talented ones you have?
That's what I'm excited about. To be honest with you, I mean, it's great, it's challenging, we love the X and O part, we love the strategy, all of those things. I cannot wait to see these guys play. And so this will be the first time I've seen them play in game conditions, right? And I want them to be excited, I want them to be confident, I want them to, you know, feel like, you know, they're great with the plan and they understand the plan, and then we just go out and play and we let our talent take over. So that's kind of the name of the game. But I think probably the most exciting part for me personally is to be able to watch these guys play and go out and execute.
How much do the defensive coaches in this case, you know, involved in deciding who is a starter on the offensive side? They ask for your input on what you've seen out of the quarterback title, or what you've seen out of wide receivers. Do you guys play any role in what happens on that side of the ball?
No, we stay in our lane with that. We stay in our lane with that. The head coach and the coordinators kind of talk about that on their side of the ball. Obviously, you know, we see them every day, so you know we have a very good idea of the talent level. But that's above my pay grade.
Coach, the cornerback seems like there's been some injuries in camp. You know, Duck has been in and out for a couple of years now. How do you feel about the corners? I know it's a big year for Grimes and Duck and transfer. How do you feel about that group?
I think you're right. I think you hit it on the head. It's a very big year for these guys. I think this is the time for them to step up to the plate and take their game to the next level. And we've seen signs of that in fall camp. You know, you mentioned Storm. Hopefully he's back to a place right now where health-wise we're smart and judicious about how and when we use him, but we feel good that he's physically in a good place. But the whole secondary, you know, there's a lot of guys back there that have played a lot of football. And we expect them to play well. We expect them to tackle well. We expect them to execute. Not give up explosive plays, things of that nature. We expect that of those guys because they have played a lot of football. So it's not just the corners. It's not just, we have the nickel / star. We have the corners. We have the safeties that have played a lot of football. And they all have to play better. They all have to communicate better. They all have to execute better. They know that. They all have to tackle better. The problem being back there is that if they make a mistake, everybody sees it. It's different than a defensive tackle, and they know that. They know, what comes with that position. So when the ball breaks because somebody misfit something up front, they have to make the tackle and drag it down. If there's a complicated route that the offense has created because of a formation or a motion, or there's communication that is required right now, they have to get that done back there. So the level of execution back there has to be huge, and it has to be spot on, and they're going to have to execute. So I expect them in game one to communicate at a high level and execute at a high level. That's what their jobs are, and they've done a really good job of that at camp. Corners, safeties, and on nickels, all of them.
Is there a leader in that group, that secondary group, that's kind of stepped up as the vocal communicator, set the defense type guy? There's a lot of veterans, a lot of seniors.
There are guys that have played a lot of football, like Gio Biggers. Gio is the first one that comes to mind when it comes to guys that really understand and they get the whole big picture, and they do a great job of communicating out there. He's not the only one, but he's the one that stands out to me, just because he's a really smart, he's a really smart guy. His dad's a football coach. He kind of gets it, but he's been around a lot of football. But he would be one that I would say that if we're looking for a guy to take charge and make sure that we understand communication and checks, he would be the first one we'd look at.
Gene, it seems like Mac is expecting Rara to play a lot this year at linebacker. I know you weren't here last season, but how have you seen him take the jump, quote unquote, from freshman to sophomore?
Really proud of Rara. Really, really proud of him. I think he's put in the work. I think he's tried to put in the work to gain some weight. That's kind of always been his Achilles heel. He's probably one of the fastest linebackers in college football, and it shows on the field. He plays fast. When he knows exactly what his job description is, he knows where he's going, he sees the ball, he gets there really, really fast. And I think he's done a great job of improving in the 20 some odd days that we've practiced. I think he sees the game faster now, and we fully expect him to play. I told Cedric Gray the other day, I think he played, almost close to 900 snaps last year, and that's not the goal. The goal is not to play, and I'm not even sure if that included special teams, but that's not the goal. Our goal is to make sure that in our front seven, everyone on our defense, but certainly in the front seven, that's linebackers included, we expect to be able to play too deep. That's what we want to be able to do, because offenses strain and challenge you defensively these days by running 80 and 90 plays a game. And that's just the nature of the speed and the tempo and things of that you see. So, one linebacker playing 900 plays that's not optimal for us. So he knows that, and I think he's done a great job. So we fully expect for him to get, significant snaps in every game.
And is it kind of the same deal with Keyshawn on the defensive line?
100%. The defensive line's a very unique animal right now, because I feel like we've got really, really good depth. We've got some young guys that need to keep coming along. You mentioned Keyshawn, he would be one of them. Travis Shaw would be one of them. There's just some young guys that we feel like have earned the right to get reps, but they have to understand their role. Right now, they're role players because they've got a lot of guys in front of them that have played a lot of football, and that's been the great thing about these guys, is that they've accepted their role. They know and understand who's in front of them, why they're in front of them, and that's where they're trying to get to. And in the meantime, we expect to, both in practice and games, incrementally bring them along, because we expect them to be significant contributors this year.
Coach, kind of going off that point, also tying in the secondary, as someone who has missed time the past couple of years, Storm Duck is a player that Coach Brown said sort of been passed by a few other people just because he hasn't really seen the field. What have you seen from him in sort of this climb to get back to the top of the depth chart in that secondary group?
Well, Storm's a very talented guy. He's got the physical and mental makeup to be a really, really good defensive back. Obviously, the health issue has been the reason, but he cares about football. He loves football. He's grinded. He's grinded to come back. It's been an up and down battle for him, but as a football player, I think he's got really good football IQ. I think the game means a lot to him, and he's talented. So there's nothing he's missing except for time participating, right? I mean, that's really it. So if we're judicious about how we use him, and we rotate him enough right now where we can just bring him along at the right pace, and he can stay healthy, he's going to be a significant contributor to us, and we expect him to be. And maybe not at just one position, maybe multiple positions, because he's smart enough to learn that. So we're kind of bringing him along in that regard as well.
Gene, I know this certainly is not the end point, this is the beginning point, but from the start of spring practice to now, what sort of journey has this been? Installing the defense, getting these guys in the places you want them, the ups, the downs, sideways probably, like what has this journey been like just to get to this point to game week, do you think, and how have you seen things improve?
Yeah, that's a great question. It's been a journey. It's been a journey because, you know, when somebody comes in new, whether you're a head coach or whether you're a coordinator or whether you're a position coach, right? Everything boils down to trust. And, you know, so I don't know how long I've been here now, 8 months. I think one of the first things I told these guys is they don't know me, therefore they shouldn't trust me because they don't know me, and vice versa, right? So you work 8 months to build trust. That's both coaches to players and players to coaches, right? So there's a lot of ups and downs in between that go into that. And I feel really, really good about the trust factor that both we have in the players and the players have in us. And I had a long meeting with them yesterday talking about the ups and downs of the seasons and, you know, how we respond to things and, you know, what are we going to be like if we're down 21 in a game? What are we going to be like if we're up 21 in a game? Because it's not about, it's all about a standard. And I've said this before, it's standards, not circumstances, right? We can't play to circumstances, we got to play to standards. And that's easier said than done. But it takes a lot of trust between both coaches and players and coaches. And I think going into this game, I think we've got that. I think we've all got that. And we'll still grow together. The journey is just beginning, like you said, and there's going to be a lot of things in there, a lot of adversity, a lot of ups and downs, all those things that go with it. But as long as we trust each other, which that's really what the 8-month journey's been about, then we're going to be fine.
Coach, you said you're excited. Are you nervous at all to get back out there? Are there any nerves the first game? Never?
No, I'm nervous about not being ready for practice tomorrow because I'm on a time crunch, right? Like, that's the only thing I'm worried about right now. But as far as being nervous about the game...
I guess like jitters in terms of just like the excitement.
Right. No, not yet. Not yet. Can't say that I won't feel that way Saturday morning when I wake up, or maybe even Friday. But, you know, right now, like I said, right now I kind of feel like I'm still in fall camp mentality, you know, kind of getting ready. I think near the end of the week when everything's, you know, starts slowing down and the game plan's in and everything's been worked, I think I might feel a little bit different. But right now I'm still kind of in fall camp mindset.
And I know you'll be up in the booth. How's the communication going to work with you and your coaches? I imagine Charles Reward will have a big role on the sideline in communicating with you, to the players. You kind of break down.
Yes, he'll have a huge role. All the coaches will. We have a very organized. Everybody's got, you know, the structure of everything. Everybody knows that everybody's got specific jobs that they're doing, but the direct communication on a down-in, down-out basis will be between me and Coach Warren. It'll be between everybody, but there'll be a lot of, you know, dialogue going on between him and I. Obviously, we've been together for, you know, a couple of years, so we understand that. And we have, by design, done this probably 5 or 6 times between spring ball and now. just to make sure that we're all on the same page with how we're organized. So that's always by design too. We made sure we got three of those in the spring, I think, and we got 3 of them in the fall camp. So we had done it 6 times just to make sure that because people don't realize how much communication and organization has to go on between getting information, getting it down to the players, making sure that everybody's good, making corrections, and it's got to be a really clear, succinct way to do that, and I feel very good about that.
Is there a position coach up with you in the booth?
There is mainly the younger coaches that are up there giving me information. Most of the coaches are down on the field.
Gene, how close would you say the defensive line is to say a prototype of what you consider to be a stalwart defense in terms of the talent, the depth, the experience?
I'll be able to tell you more after game 1, but I feel like we have a chance to be really good up front. And I feel like, and I've told them since I've got here, and I tell them that daily, that if you guys don't play at a high level, we don't have a defense. We've got huge frames. We've got guys that love football. We have depth to rotate them. So our expectation is that they play really, really well. Have we arrived? No. But I think they've come a long way in the 8 months as far as how we want them to play and the demeanor that they need to approach every game with. So we're getting there. Been really, really pleased with how they've come on and progressed. They love ball. And there's a lot of them, like I said, they got big frames. So we expect them to get in there and muddy some things up and also get a pass rush without having to bring a 5th or 6th rusher. That's their job. They got to get pass rush for all 4 of them. So that's kind of been that's been the message for 8 months.
Phil said that the range for offense that he can between 2 guys in the rotation that he can anticipate playing. Do you have a range, a number on defense?
As far as the number of guys we expect to rotate on a pretty regular basis.
Guys can be trusted in the thick of the game.
Well, I would say right now there's a lot. I'd say right now, just off the top of my head, there's probably 16 or 17 guys that we consider to be, on the blue team, which is, we could trot them out in the game at any point. Doesn't matter where the ball is, doesn't matter if it's on the goal line, in the little red zone, backed up. We feel like if we call 17 or 18, 16 to 18 guys out there right now, we wouldn't skip a beat. And then the ones that are not quite to that point, they're coming along, but they need reps, they need more work, they need more time, just to get the experience that they need to really be considered to be in that group.
You guys good?
Awesome. Thanks,
All right.
guys.
Appreciate it, Coach.
Appreciate it.